then immediately grabs the gun with his right hand and takes several shots towards victim Zepeda and Bedsole, striking Zepeda. The same incident was live streamed on Mr. Kelly's personal Facebook page under the name Zeke Huncho. At 5:56 p.m., Memphis police were flagged down at Millington Road and Hollydale Cove by Pamela Collier and Denise Taylor. They advised officers that Ezekiel Kelly, son to Pamela and brother to Denise, was on Facebook Live talking about just killing 2 people in South Memphis, and then he recorded himself shooting at someone to what appeared to be an auto zone. Pamela advised that Mr. Kelly is driving a sky blue 4-door Infiniti. Also in the video, Mr. Kelly is holding a Glock handgun with a silver extended magazine, and it appears to have a switch to render it fully automatic. At 7:21 p.m., Memphis police responded to a shooting call in the area of Poplar Avenue and North McLean Boulevard.
Christine.
Upon arrival, officers observed a female victim, later identified as Allison Parker, laying on Poplar Avenue and suffering from a gunshot wound. Paramedics made the scene and pronounced Ms. Parker deceased. Victim Bo Bates advised that he was driving westbound Poplar in his Dodge Ram in the far left lane when a gray Infiniti in the middle lane, also going westbound Poplar, turned left in front of him, striking his truck and causing both vehicles to crash. Several witnesses on the scene advised that after the crash, the driver of the Infiniti, identified as Ezekiel Kelly, exited the vehicle and started walking westbound. He approached a black sedan, but that vehicle immediately drove off. Mr. Kelly then approached a blue Honda Pilot driven by victim Randall Graham. Ezekiel fired several shots at the Honda Pilot.
Reflections of Kimberly.
Mr. Graham drove away but was struck in the arm. One of those bullets also went through the right pants leg of victim Matthew Carrozza, who was walking with his wife,
Ezekiel
Jill
Kelly,
in front of 1811 Poplar.
a Memphis mass shooter.
Mr. Carrozza, just his clothing. Mr. Graham was transported to Regional 1 Hospital in non-critical condition.
Pleading
After
guilty.
shooting at the Honda Pilot, Mr. Kelly continued walking westbound Poplar and approached a gray Toyota CHR, which was stopped eastbound Poplar. Ariana Parker was in the front passenger seat and immediately exited the vehicle and went over to the driver's side to try and get her mother, Allison Parker, out of the vehicle. Mr. Kelly entered the Toyota from the passenger side and then shot several times, striking Allison, who then exits the vehicle and falls to the ground. Mr. Kelly then drives away eastbound Poplar in the Toyota CHR. These events are captured on a residential surveillance camera. Witness Jerika Gents lives on Poplar near North McLean where this incident occurred. Gents advised she saw the suspect walking westbound Poplar after the crash and was approaching the vehicles. She then heard the shots and ran back inside.
Too early in the morning for this.
Gents identified Ezekiel Kelly in a
Well, at least he's pleading guilty and taking ownership of his crime.
At 8:52, South Haven, Mississippi police responded.
That's the least. He is taking ownership.
West of the Raceway gas station.
And he's never getting out, I'm sure.
Mr. Porter advised that he parked his Dodge Challenger next to a gas pump facing north towards the gas station. While pumping gas, a gray SUV pulls up next to him and rolls down the driver's side window. Porter immediately recognized the driver as Ezekiel Kelly, whose image had been on the news since the shooting at AutoZone. Porter then runs westbound away from his Challenger. At that time, Mr. Kelly got out of the stolen Toyota CHR and into Porter's
Yeah, Kimberly, but the more research I'm doing with this Trump and this administration stuff, they've been plotting to depopulate and putting all type of poison in our food. It is, anyway. I am really contemplating buying some land and doing my own gardening, baby, because this stuff here is crazy. And Lord, heaven forbid if he got that vaccine. I don't want to talk about that one either right now. Condolences to all the families that this young man affected.
The ATF NIBIN team notified the Memphis Police Department and advised it was determined that the shell casings recovered from 946 South Parkway East, 4011 Jackson, and Poplar in North McLean are a possible NIBIN match. ATF NIBIN also advised that those shell casings are a possible NIBIN match with a 9mm Glock Model 45 that was recovered from the Dodge Challenger that Ezekiel Kelly was last driving when he was taken into custody. The Glock Model 45 was illegally modified to allow it to fire rounds fully automatic. Mr. Kelly live-streamed portions of the events of September the 7th, 2022, making various threats to harm citizens. As a result of his live-streamed actions, the citizens of Memphis, Tennessee were placed in fear and subject to lockdowns in various public locations as the Memphis Police Department pursued Mr. Kelly. Ezekiel Kelly is a convicted felon under Shelby County Criminal Court Indictment number 20-02038, sentenced to 3 years for the crime of aggravated assault in 2021. Your Honor, had this matter gone to trial, those are the facts that the state would have elicited.
Your Honor, please, we stipulate that those would have been the facts as put forth by the state if the matter had gone to trial, and ask that you accept this negotiated plea.
Stand in affirmation of the case judge.
Sir, do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you give today will be the truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? So I'm going to go over some paperwork with you. At any point I say something you don't understand, or you have any questions, I want to stop you on that. The first question I have is, sir, how far along in school did you go? I'm going to need you to speak up loud and clear, because everything you say is going to be recorded. I want to make sure we have a clear record of our conversation. So you got your GED. Do you have any problems reading or writing? Do you want any type of medication, drugs, alcohol, anything that would make it difficult for you to understand what we're doing? So this first document that I'm going to show you is an order on a guilty plea. On the back side of this document, it has your constitutional rights listed out here. Now, because of the amount of counts, there's several pages of this. You had a chance to go over each of these documents with your attorney. Is this your signature on each of these documents? All right, that's where I'm going to go over these rights with you again on the record to make sure that you understand them. As I stated before, if I say something you don't understand, or if you have any questions, why don't you stop me and let me know? Okay. So the first right that you have is the right to plead not guilty. What that means is that no one can make you say you did these things if you didn't want to. You understand? You also have a right to a trial by jury, which means folks in the community come sit in those chairs and will listen to the proof put on by the state, listen to the proof put on by your attorney, and they will be the ones to decide whether there should be a conviction in this case. But when you plead guilty, you waive your right to a trial and ask the court to issue a conviction. You understand? So we currently have a trial date set for February. By entering this plea, that's going to eliminate that trial date and that's going to conclude your case. You understand? So you also have a right to confront and cross-examine any witnesses against you. What that means is that anybody that's saying that you did the things that the state just talked about, you have a right to have them come sit in that chair and testify. Your attorney would ask whatever questions he needed to ask in order to help you your defense. But when you plead guilty, you waive that right. You understand? So you also have the right to have any witnesses on your behalf come and testify. Even if they didn't want to, and if they didn't want to, the court could issue a warrant for their arrest, even if that's what they did testify. You understand? Sir, you have an absolute right to testify. So your side of the story. You also have a constitutional right not to testify. What that means is that no one can make you testify, not even the court. If you chose not to testify on this registry, that they could not hold it against you. You understand? Sir, if you were to go to trial, and if you were to lose the trial, you would have an automatic right to an appeal. Which means that another court would look at your case, see if there were any mistakes. If there weren't any mistakes, you determine the remedies necessary in order to fix those mistakes. When you plead guilty, you waive your right to an appeal. You understand? So you also have the right to have an attorney assist you at every stage of your defense. That includes anything that happens in this courtroom, anything that happens in your court. That right exists whether you can afford an attorney or not. If you could not afford an attorney, I would appoint an attorney for you. You notice seeking the death penalty. So that changes a little bit the dynamics of the trial. Make sure that you understand what occurred at trial. If we were to have a trial on this matter, we would go through the proof. If the jury would have convicted you at trial, then you would receive what they sentencing for you. At that point, the state would have to present additional proof as far as enhancements. Your attorneys would be given the opportunity to present mitigating proof. It would be at that point there would be a determination on whether a death penalty should be imposed. But without the determination at that time, there would be a sentence of life without possibility of parole. You understand how the trial would have occurred if it would have taken place. It's your desire now to waive the right to trial. Yes, sir. In this case, there have been several counts. I'm going to go through these counts and make sure that you understand what it is that you are in fact pleading guilty to. Count 1, you would be pleading guilty to the charge of first-degree murder. You receive a sentence of life without possibility of parole. Count 2, you would be pleading guilty to reckless endangerment with a deadly weapon. You receive a sentence of 2 years. That would be as a range 1 responsibility with 30% offender. Count 3, you would be pleading guilty to the charge of first-degree murder. A sentence of life without parole. Count 4, you would receive a sentence on a plea to the charge of reckless endangerment with a deadly weapon. That would be a 2-year sentence. That would be range 1 with susceptibility of 30%. Count 5 would be convicted felon in possession of a firearm. You would receive a sentence of 12 years, range 1, and the statutory required 85%. Count 6, you would be pleading guilty to criminal intent to first-degree murder. Receive a sentence of 25 years. You serve as a range 1 offender, but at the statutory required 100%. Count 7, you would be pleading guilty to reckless endangerment with a deadly weapon. Receive a sentence of 2 years. Rank 1, that the release eligibility of 30%. Count 8, you would be pleading guilty to employment of a firearm with a dangerous felony. Receive a sentence of 10 years. At range 1, and statutory required 100%. Count 9, you would be pleading guilty to criminal intent to first-degree murder. Receive a sentence of 25 years. As a range 1 offender, but at the statutory required 100%. Count 10, you would be pleading guilty to reckless endangerment with a deadly weapon. Receive a sentence of 2 years. Range 1, susceptibility 30%.
Sorry.
Count 11, you would be pleading at that point you would be making a determination on whether a death penalty or an unfair offense. When you plead guilty, what is that right to understand that? You also have the right to have any witnesses on your behalf to testify. If they didn't want to, or if you also have the right to testify. You also have a constitutional right not to testify. So that means that no conviction can testify in court. You would not testify with first-degree investigation. Sir, if you were to go to trial, you have an automatic right to appeal. Which is inevitable with your case. If there were any mistakes, if there weren't any mistakes, you have the remedies necessary in order to fix those mistakes. We correct you. So you also have the right to have an
We ain't seen no judge since Tyree Nichols, the police that got off for unaliving that unarmed man.
So when a person pleads guilty, they waive these rights, they develop these rights, they never get these rights back. You can't come tomorrow and say, I changed my mind, I'm going to go forward.
Please hit the like button.
Yes, sir. In this particular case, the state has filed a notice seeking the death penalty. So that changes a little bit the dynamics of the trial. Make sure that you understand what would occur at trial. At trial in this matter, we would go through the proof. If the jury would have convicted you at trial, then we would proceed with a sentencing portion. At that point, the state would have to present additional proof as far as enhancements. Your attorneys would be given the opportunity to present mitigating proof. It would be at that point there would be a determination on whether a death penalty should be imposed. But without the determination at that time, there would be a sentence of life without possibility of parole.
Yeah, so he would have been facing death. Now it's life without parole.
Is your desire now to waive the right to trial? what it is that you are in fact pleading guilty to. In count one, you would be pleading guilty to the charge of first-degree murder to receive a sentence of life without possibility of parole. Count two, you would be pleading guilty to reckless endangerment with a deadly weapon and receive a sentence of 2 years. That would be as a range one with responsibility of 30% offender. Count three, you'd be pleading guilty to the charge of first-degree murder, receive a sentence of life without parole. Count four, you would receive a sentence on a plea to the charge of reckless endangerment with a deadly weapon. That would be a 2-year sentence. That would be range one with responsibility of 30%. Count five would be convicted of possession of a firearm. You would receive a sentence of 12 years, range one, and the statute required 85%. Count six, you would be pleading guilty to criminal intent, first-degree murder. Receive a sentence of 25 years to be served as a range one offender, but at the statute required 100%. Count seven, you'd be pleading guilty to reckless endangerment with a deadly weapon. Receive a sentence of 2 years, range one.
I don't know what was wrong with him that day.
Count eight, you'd be pleading guilty to a
Mental health is real.
felony.
Gang violence is real.
That is range one, and statute required 100%. Count nine, you'd be pleading guilty to criminal intent, first-degree murder. Receive a sentence of 25 years, range one offender, but at the statute required 100%. Count
But at least he is taking ownership and pleading guilty.
receive a sentence of 2 years, range one with responsibility of 30%. Count 11, you'd be pleading guilty to employment of a firearm with a dangerous felony.
Count 11, and it's still more.
Range one, that has statutory required 100%. Count 12, you'd be pleading guilty to aggravated assault, receive a sentence of 6 years. Range one, that is required 100%. Count 13, you'd be pleading
Count
guilty to
13.
criminal intent, first-degree murder, receive a sentence of 25 years. Range one, that is statutory required 100%. Count 14, you'd be pleading guilty to criminal intent carjacking, receive a sentence of 6 years. Range one, responsibility of 30%. Count 15, you would be pleading guilty to the employment of a firearm as a dangerous felony, receive a sentence of 10 years. Range one, that statutory required 100%. Count 16, you'd be pleading guilty.
Can y'all please hit the like button as you enter?
felony, receive a sentence of 10 years. Range one, that statutory required 100%. Count 17, you'd be pleading guilty to reckless endangerment with a deadly weapon, receive a sentence of 2 years. Range one, responsibility of 30%.
Just double tap the screen on your phone, just like that.
Reckless
Oh.
endangerment with a deadly weapon,
Or hit the 3 buttons at the top of your computer in the corner.
count 19,
19, Lord.
first-degree murder, receive a sentence of life without the possibility of parole. Count 20, pleading guilty to the charge of carjacking, receive a sentence of 12 years. Range one, at the statutory required 100%. Count 21, you'd be pleading guilty to the employment of a firearm with a dangerous felony, receive a sentence of 10 years. Range one, at the statutory required 100%. Count 22, you'd be pleading guilty to criminal intent, first-degree murder, receive a sentence of 25 years. longer it's been presented to you. Yes, sir, these are going to result in felony convictions on your record. Felony convictions of certain rights and restrictions that come into play. One is you lose your right to vote. The other, you can no longer have in your possession any firearms, ammunition, explosives. You can't even have this bullet. Important to understand, possession does not just mean that you can't carry a weapon. You can't be around, you can't be in cars where there's guns or the seat or house where there's guns lying around. If you were to be picked up and another gun were attached to you, so that would bring state or federal charges. You can't. Because in order for the court to accept this plea, the court has to make a finding that this is your own free will and choice. If there is anyone forcing you, pressuring you, or threatening you in order to enter this plea, is anyone promising you anything other than the offers I explained? Is there anything else that State would like to say?
Judge, I will note, and it's indicated on the count one judgment sheet, that as part of this settlement, Mr. Kelly is waiving all his rights of appeals in this matter. That's noted on the judgment sheet. And the state is pertaining to victim impact. We do have one witness to call.
Go ahead, that's Mark.
State calls Mr. Aubrey Miller to the microphone here.
Morning, sir. Good morning. Sir, if I can have you state your name for the record.
My name is Aubrey Miller.
All right. Sir, the state has communicated that you would like to offer a statement. You can present that statement at this time.
This will be a deterrent statement. Aubrey Miller, I've worked with the juvenile department here in Memphis for 48 years. And I would just like to bring it to this young man that has did these vicious acts in his life. And I don't know, but I do know this. I'm just requesting him, no matter where they send you to your grave or to hell. God knows, but the devil senses you. And when you know that he senses you, all I can tell you, one day just look in the mirror, take a look at yourself and say, what have you done? You've been convicted of all these things, but I will tell you one thing. Your name is Ezekiel. It's come from a word in the Bible, fairness, but you can't see yourself. You have lost yourself. Only way you can find yourself is through God. You got to take him, read his word. He said, I did. My word will be a light unto your path, a lamp unto your feet, and never return to me void. He said, trust me. I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man, woman, boy, or girl can get to him as they come through his son, which is Jesus Christ. Now, I just want to say this much, young man. Wherever you be in prison, be there. You better look to him, because he saved you. He turned this around. He could have been the other way around. He turned it around, because he wants you. He wants you. He needs you. Now, I left this to all the young men that I have served under, with, even in the military. I retired. You got to look to him, who's the author and the finisher of your faith. Young men, old men, boys and girls, whichever you want to be, I have to say this much. It's in the word. Oh, that man would praise the Lord for his goodness. And that would be for the wonderful works of the children. Man, in this place, you got a chance and a choice. Walk out there and fall into the right direction. Like the military, when you fall in line, fall in for him.
Dang, I missed
You
the
got to
who
go there,
talking.
son. But if you go there for his purpose, because you know you've done these
Who
things,
talking, y'all?
give
I
your
missed
life to
it.
him. I just want to say that much. Thank you, man.
Judge, that was Aubrey Miller, the brother and
Oh,
that
wow.
concludes the state's proof.
Oh, wow.
You done?
Oh, somebody finally show emotion. Remorse. Thank you, Lord. I'll take it. I'll take it. Better late than never. I hate I missed what he said.
Oh, that man would praise the Lord for his good through his son, which is Jesus Christ. And I just want to say this much, young man. Wherever you be in prison, and when you know that he sentenced you, all I can tell you, one day just look in the mirror, take a look at yourself and say, what have you done? You've been convicted of all these things, but I will tell you one thing. Your name is Ezekiel. It's come from a word in the Bible, fairness, but you can't see yourself. You have lost yourself. Only way you can find yourself is through God. You got to take him, read his word. He said, I didn't. My word will be a light to your path, a lamp unto your feet. You never return to me, Lord. He said, trust me. I am the way.
The truth and the light.
No man, woman, boy, or girl can get to him as they come through his
To God.
Son, which is Jesus Christ.
Amen.
And I just want to say this much, young man. Wherever you be in prison, be there. You better look to him, because he saved you. He turned this around. It could have been the other way around. He turned it around, because he wants you. He wants you. He needs you. And I left this to all the young men that I have.
Everyone is talking about this
Even in
new
the
gift.
military, I retired. You got to look to him, who's the author and the finisher of your faith.
Amen.
Young men, old men, boys and girls, whichever you want to be, I would say this much. It's in the word. Oh, that man would praise the Lord for his goodness. And that would be for the wonderful works for the children. Man, in this place, you got a chance and a choice. Walk out there to fall into the right direction. Like the military, when you fall in line, fall in for him. You got to go there, son. If you go there for his purpose, because you know you've done these things, give your life to him. I just want to say that much. Thank you.
Judge, that was Aubrey Miller, the brother-in-law of victim Richard Clark, and that concludes the state's proof.
Anything else additional?
You done?
Thank God for tears.
I just, like the way I gave the way I was thinking, I want to think the rights to play. So, I also feel those bodies, but I know it's not enough for the people. I hope one day in y'all life, y'all come home with y'all. Trying y'all hard to forgive.
He's asking for forgiveness.
And I also look to myself, forgive myself for the things that I done.
Yeah, we don't see this often. Let me be honest. Lord, I wish he would have got it before he killed the people.
Even though a person has a trial right, and if they would go to trial and lose, they had a right to appeal. So a person still has a right to appeal a guilty plea. Say that it was not done voluntarily, not knowingly, that there were other reasons why that guilty plea should be set aside. By signing this sheet, you are acknowledging that even though you still have a right to appeal, even though it may be penalized because it's a guilty plea, you already have a right to appeal. Do you have any questions about that? So do you have any questions about any of the rights that we've gone over? I'm sorry. Do you have any questions about any of the things that have been explained to you through this paperwork or through this process? Before we finalize this, please, or do you have any questions for the court or your attorney before we finalize this? No, sir. So you can step down, go back to your seat. Stand next to your attorney. Sir.
Oh, more, Roy.
In indictment 2300416, upon a plea of guilt, this indictment, the court finds that there is a factual basis for this plea. That Mr. Kelly knows and understands his rights, and he's knowingly and voluntarily waiving his rights. The judge will report that Mr. Kelly is guilty of this offense. The court now sentences Mr. Kelly count 1 to the A, or to the
Oh, my.
first-degree murder. And sentences Mr.
Oh, Lord. Oh. This is just so hurtful because he's so young. And there is remorse. You know, a lot of times there is no remorse. It's just saddens me that he has to be facing multiple counts of that would potentially take his life before beforehand, you know, the death penalty. It's like, why these young people, why people can't get it before you take someone else's life? I mean, that part I just don't get. You got to be caged before you're able to change. What is that? Why we just can't change beforehand? I guess it's not the way it's supposed to be, but indeed it is sad. I am thankful that he has remorse. I just wish he would have gotten there before he made the mistakes that he made. Lord, okay, come on. Can you please hit the like button?
In indictment 2300416, upon a plea of guilt to this indictment, the court finds that there is a factual basis for this plea. And Mr. Kelly knows and understands his rights, that he's knowingly and voluntarily waiving his rights. It's a judgment of the court that Mr. Kelly is guilty of his offense. The court now sentences Mr. Kelly in count 1 to the charge of first-degree murder. It sentences Mr. Kelly in count 1 to a period of life without parole. This is to run concurrent with
Life without
4,
parole.
2, 4, 7, 10,
He gonna be in there with straight drop.
26, 27, and run consecutive to the remaining counts of this
I'm
indictment.
sure they knew each other.
In count 2, the court sentences Mr. Kelly to the E felony of reckless endangerment with a deadly weapon to a period of 2 years, range 1, release eligibility of 30%. This is to run concurrent with all counts. Count 3, the court sentences Mr. Kelly to the charge of first-degree murder. Sentences Mr. Kelly to a period of life without parole. This is to run concurrent with counts 2, 4, 7, 10, 17, 18, 26, 27, and run consecutive to the remaining counts in the indictment. Count 4, the court sentences Mr. Kelly to the E felony of reckless endangerment with a deadly weapon to a period of 2 years, range 1, release eligibility of 30%. And then this is to run concurrent with all counts in the indictment. Count 5, the court sentences Mr. Kelly to the B felony of unlawful carrying possession of a weapon to a period of
This finna be quick in a minute, y'all.
statutory required 85%.
Hernandez Govan.
To run concurrent with counts 2, 4, 7, 10, 17,
I wish he had remorse.
7, and run consecutive to all remaining counts of that indictment. Count 6, the court sentences Mr. Kelly to the A felony of criminal attempt first-degree murder to a period of 25 years and the statutory required 100%. This is to run concurrent with counts 2, 4, 7, 10, 17, 18, 26, and 27. The remaining counts is to run consecutive to the remaining counts of the indictment. Count 7, the court sentences Mr. Kelly to the E felony of reckless endangerment with a deadly weapon for a period of 2 years, range 1, release eligibility of 30%. Count 8, the court sentences Mr. Kelly to the C felony of employment of a firearm with the intent to commit a felony to a period of 10 years, range 1, at the statutory required 100%. This is to run concurrent with counts 2, 4, 7, 10, 17, 18, 26, and 27. It's to run consecutive with all remaining counts. Count 9, the court sentences Mr. Kelly to the A felony of criminal attempt first-degree murder. Sentences Mr. Kelly to a period of 25 years, range 1, but at the statutory required 100%. This is to run concurrent with counts 2, 4,
I would have passed out.
17, 18, 26, and 27, but consecutive to all remaining counts of the indictment. Count 10, the court sentences Mr. Kelly to the felony of reckless endangerment with a deadly weapon to a period of 2 years, range 1, release eligibility of 30%, intended that this run concurrent with all counts of the indictment. Count 11, the court sentences Mr. Kelly to the C felony of employment of a firearm with the intent to commit a felony to a period of 10 years, range 1, release eligibility, at the statutory required 100%, intended to run concurrent with count 2, 4, 7, 10, 17, 18, 26, and 27, but consecutive to all
They
remaining
put
counts.
Memphis on lockdown,
Count 12,
shelter in place
the C felony of aggravated
because of
assault
his actions
for a
that day.
period of 6 years, range 1, that's statutory required 100%. This is to run concurrent with count 2, 4, 7, 10, 17, 18, 26, and 27, but consecutive to all remaining counts of the indictment. In count 13, the court sentences Mr. Kelly to the A felony of criminal attempt first-degree murder to a period of 25 years, range 1, but as statutory required 100%. This is to run
What gang is this?
Count 16, the four sentences, Mr. Kelly, to the C felony of employment of firearm with the intent to commit a felony to a period
Gang related.
10 years, range 1, but that's statutory required 100%.
But he was just
Counts 2, 4, 7, 10, 17,
he unalived some people in the gang rivals,
consecutive to
but
all
he
remaining counts of the
unalived
indictment.
innocent people as well.
Count 17, the four sentences, Mr. Kelly, to the E felony of reckless endangerment with a deadly weapon to a period of 2 years, range 1, with a substability of 30%. This is intended to run concurrent with all counts of the indictment. Count 18, the four sentences, Mr. Kelly, to the E felony of reckless endangerment with a deadly weapon to a period of 2 years, range 1, with a substability of 30%. This is to run concurrent with
Oh
all
my
counts of
God.
the indictment. Count 19, the four
Count
sentences,
19.
Mr. Kelly, to the charge of first-degree murder, and sentences Mr. Kelly to a period of life without the possibility of parole to be served at 100%.
How many life sentences is that? Oh my God.
17, 18, 26, and 27 are consecutive for all remaining counts. Count 20, the four sentences, Mr. Kelly, to the B felony of carjacking to a period of 12 years, range 1, but that's statutory required 100%. It's intended that this run concurrent with counts 2, 4, 7, 10, 17, 18, 26, and 27, but consecutive to all remaining counts of the indictment. Count 21, four sentences, Mr. Kelly, to the C felony of employment of firearm with the intent to commit a felony. Four sentences, Mr. Kelly, to a period of 10 years, range 1, but that's statutory required 100%. Run concurrent with counts 2, 4, 7, 10, 17, 18, 26, and 27, but consecutive to all remaining counts of the indictment. In count 22, the four sentences, Mr. Kelly, to a period, or to the A felony of criminal intent, first-degree murder to a period of 25 years, range 1, but that's statutory required 100%. Run concurrent with counts 2, 4, 7, 10, 17, 18, 26, and 27, but consecutive to all remaining counts of the indictment. Count 23, four sentences, Mr. Kelly, to the C felony of employment of firearm with the intent to commit a felony to a period of 10 years, range 1, but that's statutory required 100%. To be served concurrent with counts 2, 4, 7, 10, 17, 18, 26, and 27, but consecutive to all remaining counts of the indictment. Count 24, four sentences, Mr. Kelly, to the C felony of theft of property, 10,000 to 60,000, to a period of 6 years, range 1, with a substability of 30%. This is to run concurrent with counts 2, 4, 7, 10, 17, 18, 26, and 27, but consecutive to all remaining counts of the indictment. Count 25, four sentences, Mr. Kelly, to the B felony of intention of being arrested in an automobile with risk of death to a period of 4 years, range 1, with a substability of 30%. This is to run concurrent with counts 2, 4, 7, 10, 17, 18, 26, and 27, but consecutive to all remaining counts of the indictment. Count 26, the four sentences, Mr. Kelly, to the E felony theft of property, 1,000 to 2,500, to a period of 2 years, range 1, with a substability of 30%. This is to run concurrent with all counts of the indictment. Count 27, the four sentences, Mr. Kelly, to the E felony of possession of a prohibited weapon to a period of 2 years, range 1, with a substability of 30%. This is intended to run concurrent with all counts of the indictment. In count 28, four sentences, Mr. Kelly, to a period to the A felony of commission of
Oh my God.
Judge, I believe that concludes. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you all. Stand ready.
Court stands recessed.
My Lord, that was a lot.
Stated all remaining counts of the indictment. Count 26, the court sentences Mr. Kelly to the E felony theft of property $1,000 to $2,500 to a period of 2 years, range 1 with eligibility of 30%. This is to run concurrent with all counts of the indictment. Count 27, the court sentences Mr. Kelly to the E felony possession of a prohibited weapon to a period of 2 years, range 1 with eligibility of 30%. This is intended to run concurrent with all counts of the indictment. In count 28, court sentences Mr. Kelly to a period to the A felony of commission of active terrorism to a period of 25 years, range 1 under the eligibility of 30%. Felony convictions resulting in the defendant be rendered infamous. This is an effective sentence of 3 life sentences, consecutive life sentences, without the possibility of parole, plus 221 years, plus the cost of the cause to which life minimum and execution be issued. Court will show indictment 2300416 to be called prosecution. Indictment 2204023 will show that indictment to be called prosecution, no cause to retire.
Thank you, Your Honor. Judge, I believe that concludes. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you all. Stand ready.
Court stands recessed.
Okay, let me see if they bring up something else. Hold on.
No, there's a pad right here just in case. Okay, yeah, absolutely. It made me, yeah, I guarantee, because I literally went.
More different types of wishes. They are ready.
I'm gonna use stick mic if that's okay.
we weren't surprised. This had been something that we've been working on for a while. I just want to say that death penalty cases can drag on for years, if not decades, making the families and the victims stuck in the pain. What we achieve today achieves certainty and finality, making sure that Mr. Kelly will never see the light of day, and also honoring what we have heard from many of the victims, which is they are ready to move on with their lives.
As you said in the beginning, this case, no case, you don't know which case were. Do you think these families are satisfied?
Yes, I do believe they're satisfied. We've talked to them extensively. The trial team has talked to them extensively about this, and they are satisfied with the plea. As I said, it meets their desire to have this over with, to be able to move
So
on
the
with their
family
lives.
wanted it.
And we also know that Mr. Kelly will spend the rest of his life in prison. And I also want to take this opportunity to thank the trial team, Chris Laro and Devin Dennis, and the rest of the trial team did an excellent job on this case. This was an extremely complicated case. As you probably have already known, there are over 400 potential witnesses, 300 or more different types of videos, multiple locations. It was a lot of work, and the trial team did a good job of putting it all together and reaching what I think is a very effective and just settlement. And I also wanted to mention that Mr. Aubrey Miller, who was the brother-in-law of victim Richard Clark, who was killed on that dark day, who you heard speak earlier in the courtroom, he's also here with me to show support for what has happened today.
Mr. Miller, if you could hear from me for a second.
Yes.
Obviously, what you said spoke to him. You got emotional as you were speaking. What did you feel as he began to speak back to you and all of the things?
The thing I was really looking at is the appearance of a life, a child. You know, I have watched over children for a mighty long time. And I just look at him by me being in the juvenile department, used to be a counselor and plus a probation officer. He was just one of them in that bush that I didn't get a chance to really relate to him before that time. And now I see, as I tell many of us, if you don't understand what you don't understand, it's like the Bible would tell us, all that get understanding. And people say, what I need to understand? Well, he said in the word, get understanding. And what the understanding is the word of God. See, God blew breath into man. He become the living soul. And everything in the soul of man
Take
is
him to
either
church,
the
sir.
woman or the male or the others. So we have to look at this in a perspective, say, Lord, I don't understand what you telling me. But if you want that reassurance, he said, I've already sent my son. My only son. I sent him here to this place to dwell among you so that you will know and know that you know by observing him, because he came as an example.
And on the topic of understanding or not understanding, I will note that when I was speaking to some of the victims earlier, they wanted to understand why. Why did this happen? And unfortunately, I don't think we'll ever know for sure why this happened. This was a tragedy for Memphis, my first week on the job, actually. So we don't necessarily know why it happened, but one thing we do know for sure is that today, I think we achieved some justice.
My question is to Mr. Miller. This is, Ezekiel kept saying, I don't have the words, but one thing we've heard loud and clear is, I want forgiveness. Is that something that, are you extending?
Extend that, because I've been military. You given a weapon to go out there to shoot an enemy that you don't know, and it may take you out before you know. So I kind of put it in perspective, police officers. You be out here, sometimes things happen to you. Just regular people walking the street. You got to be aware of what's in your heart. Always think of what's in your heart. If that's the satanic move that you want to go out there to do something wrong, let's talk to him. Talk to him. Talk to the Lord. Tell him. If you don't understand, just the Lord, I don't understand why I'm here, what this happened. I can walk out that door and this be my last. I don't know. But I can comfort people with his word. Because he said it. In the word, he said it. My word will be a light unto your path, a lamp unto your feet, and never return to me, Lord. So I don't have to worry about the one down here. It's the one that I don't see. I don't see it.
What message does this send about any future cases that may come around?
Well, I mean, what I think it sends the message is that we're not tolerating any kind of violence, but particularly this kind of random violence which terrorized an entire city for 5 hours at least and put us on lockdown. I mean, when this type of violence occurs, there will be consequences. There will be accountability. And in this case, it's pretty serious accountability. We're talking about 3 consecutive life without parole sentences on top of an additional 221 years. We are doing everything we can possible within the bounds of the law to make sure that Mr. Kelly never sees the light of day after what has happened. So I think that's the message. The message is that violence won't be tolerated and there'll be consequences.
I know you ran on the standpoint of being against the death penalty.
Yes.
Do you feel differently now that you prosecuted 2 that ended in plea deal?
I'm not sure that I feel differently. I think if I were a lawmaker, I would probably not support the death penalty, and there are very good reasons why I don't support the death penalty. But given the fact that the law in Tennessee does have a death penalty, and I'm charged with enforcing the law, then I need to make decisions about when it is appropriate to seek the death penalty. And as you mentioned earlier, at the time, when I made the announcement with Mr. Laro that we were seeking the death penalty, I said, if there was a case where it would be appropriate, it would be this one.
We are about a month away from marking 3 years since this incident. I know you had said that family wanted to move on, or was ready to move on. What kind of timeline were we looking at for this case? I mean, getting a trial, wrapping up the trial, because I know there was a lot of evidence,
Sure.
hundreds of witnesses as well.
Because of all the evidence and all the locations, the trial prep was taking a long time. We had, had the trial set for July of this year, but it got postponed yet again to next February. Assuming that it did take place on time, it would have taken a while. Even if we had gotten a conviction, and we're pretty confident we would have gotten a conviction, then there would have been an appeals process that would have dragged on for years. And then there's post-conviction remedies, which I think are important. They are essential. We have to have them, but they do take time. And that goes double, if not triple, for death penalty cases. The courts are very, very careful to give every opportunity to the defendant to raise any issues about either the conviction or the appropriateness of the penalty or any of those problems. So it is not at all uncommon for these death penalty appeals and post-convictions to last decades, in which there is no closure during that time. And so I think that explains why the family.
Hey, I'm just now seeing y'all comments. Hey, y'all.
Felt that this was an appropriate resolution.
Hey, Janet. Joe Bass. We
An
MCK.
ideal outcome from what
Carolina.
perspective? I'm sorry.
Carolina. Judge gave it to him.
Oh yes. I mean, I
Hi,
do think
Joyce.
so. First of all,
Carolyn,
it takes away
Shabbat,
any risk. There's certain.
Phyllis.
We
Hey.
know for sure he will
Manny
spend the rest of his
Fresh.
life in prison. There's no
Eric.
doubt about
Sonia.
that. It is
Pierre.
final. It doesn't drag on for years and
Rose.
decades. It gives the
Sorry, I
families
missed
closure.
y'all.
It allows
Patrick.
all of us to move on. So that's why I think this is a good outcome. And again, kudos to the trial team for the hard
He
work
will
they did
never
in
see the light of
bringing this
day.
about. I guess that's it. Thank you all very much. Take care now. Take care now.
Never see the light of day. And it's remarkable the family that he victimized were God-fearing Christian man, prayed for him, spoke over him, wish he could have got him sooner than the streets took over him. We don't hear that often. We don't hear that forgiveness, and we definitely do not see remorse. So that is extremely interesting. Okay, I don't think nothing else is coming. Let me see.
Good, good.
Oh, maybe. Oh, the defense is going to talk.
Let's go first.
That reaction, or the reason for that change of heart, as you told, if you would sort of walk us through why Ezekiel decided to go with
The reason for the
You
change
mean
of heart.
as far as his reaction on the witness
Why
stand
did
today?
you decide to take that?
You know, I think in the process of representing Mr. Kelly, he's probably what I would consider 180 degrees different than where he was when he walked in the door.
Yeah.
He has worked hard to do a transformation in himself, and he's truly sorry for what he's done.
Them streets ain't no
He
joke.
also wants to be true in the fact that, hey, you know, there's nothing he can really say or do for the families that will make them feel any better, make them feel any different towards him or any other way. But the only one thing he could do was go ahead and do this plea and put closure to this case, so the families would not have to come back, relive all of this over a month-long trial. And I think this has been a process. I mean, obviously, you know, we've been doing this for a few years now.
You kind of said that today when you
Come up with this decision. Obviously, you were preparing for trial.
Hi, Keita.
All of a sudden,
Very, very
Well,
remorseful and
yesterday you
emotional.
got the announcement. This has been something that we've been working on for years, okay? Negotiations have been going on and off for the last probably year and a half or so. We've gone back and forth with the DA's office over issues. Our biggest issue was to get the death penalty off the table. And then it's a process
3
you
life
have to go through with
sentences.
your client. You know, to go in and talk to a young man that's 23 years old and say, hey, you know, life in prison is a better alternative to being in the grave.
Did you talk to him about what he was going to say at the what he was going to say?
You know, I'll tell you this. He did ask us to help him write allocutions, and we did so, and I sat with him to try to get his thoughts together, and he told me he just wanted to speak from the heart. So when we met Monday, I believe, he just said, I want to speak from how I feel.
Speak to my heart.
He was obviously very emotional. How are you feeling hearing him over
You know, with me, I've been
That's sad, Keita.
talking with Mr. Kelly probably every week for, you know, a year or two now. Okay, so I sort of know, expect how he's going to be or what his thought processes are in this kind of situation. I was glad to see him be able to muster up the words to say something to the family. And says, I think he more wanted to say he was sorry. And, you know, he's expressed that to me several times. But he said he just wanted to speak from the heart. And I think that Mr. Miller, I believe, who came up and spoke, had some very good words, spoke directly to him. And I think that really gave him the feelings of what to say on the witness stand. Yes.
in this case, you were hired, then fired, and then represented yourself one time, and then rehired. How has this relationship been?
Well, I tell you this, Mr. Kelly has been nothing but respectful, and we've always had a good relationship. You know, we talked about the situation where he wanted to represent himself. I think anytime you have a person that is in a desperate situation like this, lots of things go through their head. We talked, there was no reflection on our relationship. I told him that this is what your decision is, and I think the minute he found out what it was like to be in court, he was like, this is not a good idea. And then after that, the relationship has always been fine.
Did he realize the seriousness of
death penalty. I mean, this is something that very few people under PM Warward got.
Correct. Did he realize the seriousness of this? Absolutely. You know, anytime the state of Tennessee is trying to kill somebody, and that's basically what we do with the death penalty, it's state sanctioned killing. And anytime that's the situation, you know, everybody realizes how serious it is. And that's obviously why you spend a lot of time with your client. That's why we have a large team that works on the case. And he was not without realizing the gravity of the situation.
I heard you say the most difficult part was to get the death penalty on.
Well,
They want to keep the death penalty on.
well, in this kind of situation, you know, what we had, I mean, we had a case where basically part of the offense was videotaped. I mean, it was published live. And we also have a case where, you know, very few people in the city of Memphis do not remember that day. Okay, where you were doing or what was happening when that took place, and when a shelter in place came out, everybody sort of remembers what they were doing, what was going on, and so that's about all I can say about that.
I'm curious if you have any thoughts. He talked about when it happened, he was in the darkest place of his life, and he talked about, you know, his time incarcerated before, and he's so young. Does this talk about the need for mental health services and reaching our youth early and violence?
You know, and here's the thing, when you go into a case like this and we have a sentencing phase of things, you talk about a person's life and what happens. And, you know, interesting thing that Mr. Kelly commented on to me, and I'm not sharing any attorney-client thing here, but was that, you know, people aren't really interested to hear about how bad a person's life is or how bad their situation is when they're dealing with a horrific incident like this. But if you want to see an example of what happens when we don't do things for our youth and we don't counsel them and take care of them when they're younger, Mr. Kelly's the example. And if you guys don't believe it, you know, we would put on a history of Mr. Kelly that showed that him involved in the system from minute one. And I'm not saying involved in a bad way. I'm not saying involved in a way where he was committing crimes or things. Involved in a way with his family and stuff. And he is a prime example of, if we don't start correcting that situation and correcting it at an early age in our community, as a community, this is what you're going to see. This is what you're going to see. We're going to come in these courtrooms and this is what's going to happen. We've seen it time and time again. At some point, our leaders, our people in our community need to get the message that, you know, it's just not a lot of fluff about what these kids go through. And, you know, we can all go home and be fine and live our lives, but these kids go through some horrific things. And I'm not sitting here giving any excuses for Mr. Kelly, but we've got a broken system and we've got a broken situation with our youth, and we need to do something about it.
I know there's client attorney privilege. Mr. Kelly never testified. I know you said on the stand he was in a dark place.
I can't get into that. That would be, to me, I think that is something personal between Mr. Kelly and the victims' families. And so if they want to know, then, you know, I think that is their right and stuff to know, but I think that is something that needs to be kept private with them.
But you and Ms. Tipton, again, have been alongside Mr. Kelly for the longest. What was that turning moment when you recognized, because I can remember he was 19, even having that mugshot taken when he was smiling. And then it's almost like every court case, it's almost like you could see he was being humbled. Something was happening. So when did you notice that there was a switch that was hit?
I probably noticed more of a switch in Mr. Kelly, I'd say, about the time when we continued the trial dates. Yeah, I'd say about that time. I noticed a change and a switch in him somewhat, but he really started to switch a lot at that point.
I would say that there wasn't a distinct switch on or off, but it was a process. And I think Mr. Kelly has had a process. He's processed what the conduct was during these crimes, and then an enormous growth in Mr. Kelly personally since that time. And it goes back from who he was on the day when his first killing occurred to who he is today. I think that he started changing he came back and he asked us to come back on the case and start helping him. He was in a different place and moving towards what ultimately happened today.
And, you know, I think about Mr. Kelly, I don't think he wants it to be about him right now. You know,
Y'all,
he
their
wants it to be
volume is
about,
low.
the families that have gone through this horrific event, and them being able to at least have this finalized in court where they can stop having to worry about court dates, stop having to come to court, stop having to worry about a trial date, and could go about on their process of what they have to do. They'll never be healed, but you know, they'll go through the process of trying to heal some. Any other questions?
Well, when he kept saying, this is my last question.
No, that's fine.
It's almost like he couldn't form the words, and he admitted. What was he trying to say when he said, this brought us together? Because there was even reaction from those sort of in the gallery, from the family and victims, when he was saying, this brought us together. So what do you think, someone that has spent years with them, what was he trying to say?
It's something that's brought us together. I think he was more trying to say that, you know, these events have led us all to be in this one room, and he wants to show that the situation that he's been given, the new lease on life, that he is not going.
Okay, y'all, they have ended it. I'll be back with my regular live I have coming up. I'm going to change the time to 11:15, and I'm going to get on a different device. Yeah, I'm going to do 11:30. Talk about Trump and his revenge and hate. Hateful man, ain't he? How we put hate in the White House when we got so much hate in the streets. And, you know, why he trying to take over D.C. There are some cities out there that need the armed guard. And Memphis was one of them. You know, Memphis indeed was one of them. Well, is. Yeah, it's time to impeach him. So I'll be back. I'm going to set that. I'm going to change the time on that to around 11:30. Let me charge up this phone, delete some stuff, get that ready. And I will see y'all later. Like, share, subscribe, join the membership, please. Support the platform. Please, if you didn't hit the like button coming in, please hit it on the way out. I would greatly appreciate it. And if you happen to catch this on the replay, please hit the like button on the replay. I need that. If you missed the live, still hit the like button. Still share it out and still support the platform. AunTeaFee needs your support. Okay? Peace and hair grease. Woo!